Team Fantasy Outlook time. Let's get it. Welcome in, everybody. Today we're going to dive into the Team Fantasy Outlook of the New York Giants. The Giants are trying to figure out what their team vision is this year in 2022. Playing in a weaker division, the Giants are looking to take a leap this season. As we look at last year's standings, the Giants finished 2021 as the number 4 team in their division. They finished behind the Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders at 4, 13, and 0. This year, you shouldn't look for them to get many more additions in that win column. This year in the draft, the New York Giants took one player who I believe could be fantasy relevant in 2022. Wandel Robinson is the wide receiver out of Kentucky. It was taken in the second round and is somebody who many people has scratching their heads. The Giants don't really need this receiver so long the wide receiver room can stay healthy. They are loaded at the position and just drafted Cadarius Toney last season in the first round, not to include they already have Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay, Darius Slayton. Wandel Robinson has very good field vision and could be used as a gadget type of player unless that injury bug does bite again the Giants' receiving core like it did last season, which definitely is a possibility. I'm pretty sure Robinson was drafted because of how that wide receiver core did battle those injuries last season. Now you can grab Robinson at the very end of your draft and use the wait and see type of approach to see if Robinson will carry any fantasy value this season. Let's look at an overview of the fantasy targets for the Giants in 2022. We are going to break this down into 3 categories. The first category is studs. These are players that you can easily plug and play regardless of matchups. Studs can win you weeks even against difficult defenses. The next category is starters. These are players that you will start almost every week, except there could be a few weeks where matchups can dictate whether you start them or not. The last category we'll talk about is the flex. These are players that you can plug into your flex position and they have a chance to have a fantasy relevant game, but cannot be counted on every week due to inconsistency. In the stud category, we don't have anyone. Now in the starters category, we're going to look at running back Saquon Barkley. In the flex category, we're going to look at wide receiver Kenny Golladay, wide receiver Sterling Shepard, and wide receiver Cadarius Toney. Now let's dive into each one of those fantasy targets for the 2022 season. First up, we have Saquon Barkley. Barkley is very frustrating for me to evaluate. He has so much talent. He could easily be the number 1 overall fantasy producer every season. He has 3 things going against him though. Number 1, Daniel Jones. Number 2, the injury bug. And number 3 is the entire Giants organization. It just seems like every year we're talking about whether or not Barkley is going to stay healthy and be able to produce a good fantasy season. Once again, Barkley is a draft and hold your breath type of player. The once number 1 overall pick in your drafts every single season is now falling into rounds 3 and 4 at the earliest. This is a player with so many red flags, it will be a shock if he ends up on my roster in 2022. Next on the list, we have Kenny Golladay. Golladay finished as the wide receiver number 79 last season and was the prize signing the Giants had and was supposed to soften the blow of losing Odell Beckham. This obviously has not worked out thus far. Like Barkley, Golladay can't stay away from the injury bug. Golladay missed 3 games last year and was only able to have over 100 yards receiving just once, and he had 0 touchdowns all season. This could be a make or break type of season for Golladay, and with Daniel Jones throwing the ball, that future doesn't look so bright. Now let's go over to the wide receiver who finished number 96 last season in Sterling Shepard. Shepard is a really good quality wide receiver that has some bad luck with, yeah, you guessed it, the injury bug. Shepard played in just 7 games last season before tearing his Achilles back in December. He is on pace to start the season healthy and should be the main target for Daniel Jones. A healthy Sterling Shepard as a wide receiver 3 for your team is just what the doctor ordered. You can get Shepard at the end of your draft, and if he can stay healthy, he could be a 1,000-yard receiver that you got for basically free. Now lastly, we can now talk about the number 88 wide receiver from last season in Cadarius Toney. Stop me if you've heard this before, Toney battled through some injuries last year, playing in just 9 games. He had an off-season knee surgery and is expected to be ready for training camp. Toney is a short, fast, and shifty wide receiver who did show boom potential Week 5 last season against the Cowboys when he had 10 receptions for 189 yards. Drafting Wandel Robinson shouldn't hurt Toney's value, and I would say that his role would increase within the offense in 2022. As always, I appreciate you guys watching the video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit the like button. Even leave a comment down below telling me what you think about the video. We've got a lot of things coming up, a lot of things planned. We're putting out a lot more Outlook videos for each individual teams, along other videos that are coming out. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. We'll see you guys next time.